while since it's been about a couple weeks since my last video. I got a cigar here. I don't know what it's. It's a light cigar. It's a good cigar. I like it. So I don't know the name of it, but it's pretty good. So I'm smoking it. So I wanted to talk about today about how we treat ourselves, right? Right, Tut? This is Tut. You know what I mean? So how we treat ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, the importance of positive self-talk, you know what I mean? And self-care, you know? So I'm speaking from a perspective of somebody who beats himself up daily, you know what I mean? Like the slightest thing goes wrong and my mind for some reason defaults to, you know, you fucking idiot, Yusuf. Pardon my French, you freaking idiot. You French toast idiot. I hate myself and wish I was dead. I should just kill myself or something like that. You know, just real messed up stuff. And I'm 30 years old right now. And when I sit and I think about where is this coming from, you know, it all just trails right back to my childhood. You know what I mean? Growing up, I just never had a positive sort of male role model in my life. My father wasn't really who he needed to be. My uncles were, you know, half insane, and the other half were just borderline insane. So they didn't really do much. You know what I mean? And a lot of it was, you know, they were immigrants to America, to the United States, and they were just trying to, in my opinion, not trying hard enough, but they were just trying to assimilate and make a living. See, hey, bro, you can't start crying when I'm making a video, dude, because you weren't crying before that. Now you just want attention, and now you just want to cry. See, you know what I'm saying? So, he's a year old. Look at this guy, man. So, yeah, so assimilating and it's just not, you know, I guess barely just doing the bare minimum just to float, you know what I mean? One of my uncles had a mental breakdown and he eventually got deported back to Pakistan. My other uncle, you know, he wasn't there, man. He turned to God, which is a good thing, but I mean, kind of too much was all he would do was just pray and read Quran, but he never really focused on worldly matters, you know what I mean? He was debilitated, something just, again, like this is all stuff coming from, you know, our childhood, their childhood, things just not working out. And in a way, they kind of lost hope in the mercy of Allah, you know what I mean? Which is, may Allah forgive them for that, you know what I mean? So, well, he did. And my father did too, in a way. So, I digress. So, growing up, you know what I mean? I was constantly bullied. I was made fun of. I was dark-skinned, and, you know, I couldn't really hide the fact that I was a Muslim, which is a great thing, you know, now that I look back and I have this beard on my face and everything, alhamdulillah. It's a different situation now, but back then, you know what I mean? He's trying to bite me. So back then it was a different scenario, whatever. So people, you know, I would get beat up by the neighborhood kids. I'd get, you know, not really rough house at school, but always pick last, you know what I mean? Always just not really, how do you say, given, you know, attention. If I, you know, that's just the best word I can use. It's just not really giving a lot of attention, neither at home nor at school. My stepbrothers, I had two stepbrothers. One of them was just young. He was just an asshole. The other, I mean, he was a prick. The other one was the asshole. So, you know, I struggled a lot. You know what I mean? Is what I'm trying to get at. And like, my family situation wasn't the best, and I just could not. I didn't know. I had a hard time identifying myself. Does that make sense? Like, who really am I? You know what I mean? I never really belonged to any one particular group. I was a floater, even from middle school to high school. So I think early on, I mean, I didn't even realize the type of self talk I was having with myself, but it was mostly negative. You know what I mean? And that stemmed from a lot of, like I said, my childhood, my not really having too many positive role models, male role models. My mother died when I was a kid, so she was never around. My grandmother was the only one that actually. So if I had any little bit of positive self talk, it would come from how she would talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're gonna be all right, and you're special, and how I'm a grandma's boy, so But she passed years ago, a decade ago. So, and she was gone, a couple of years even before that. I mean, health wise and everything. So, but may Allah have mercy on her, man. She raised me right, and she gave me that semblance of maybe there is something special in me. You know what I mean? So, which looking at other people growing up, like people especially that excelled in whether it was school or sports or what have you, um, I could see where a lot of that would come from. That kind of confidence and everything. It came from their fathers. You know what I mean? And I'm relating to guys, right? So I'm not a girl. I can't really relate to girls. So I'm relating to guys, other guys that I would see, be all stars on the football team, basketball team, lacrosse, or you know, uh, track or whatever. So I saw that the higher achievers were the ones that got the most attention and love from their own mothers and fathers. You know what I mean? And then it would come from other people. They earned it because they were, excelling. Like I remember one of my classmates. I don't know if I don't want to put his name out there, but he was a top three. I mean, he was fast. He was fast. I seen this guy run on water, man. Like I remember going to a swim party at the little swimming pool in his neighborhood. That was right by my neighborhood, and he fucking ran across water. He French toast ran across water. Try not to cuss so I can stay in the algorithm. So, and but when I had a chance to look at his home life too with his father and his mother and everything. And I mean, I saw that they were there for him, man. They supported him from the beginning, from since he was a little kid, had him in football and whatnot. I know he's not playing football now, but the point is he was set up for success for the most part. You know what I mean? Not that I wasn't, but I'm also unique in a lot of ways because the path that I'm on and that I've been on and things that I've seen and went through and everything, it's not normal for somebody from my background to have that. Background being a Muslim American, Pakistani American, right? They just don't know what I know. So, I mean, just being overseas, living there for 2 years and one of the roughest times to ever be there during the global war on terror, and then back here for 10 years in Dallas being in the streets, part-time, you know what I mean? I'll just be honest, part-time in the streets, being exposed to so much real life shit. So either way, going back to self-talk. So yeah, I mean, I realize now at age 30 that a lot of my self-talk is the negative self-talk because that's what I was taught to believe about myself from my stepmother, from my stepbrothers, from other people at school in my neighborhood, is that I'm not worth shit. You know what I mean? I was a real fat kid growing up, and football helped, but I couldn't do that forever because, family was like, hey, either you're going to do what we tell you to do or you're going to get the fuck out of the house. And I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, was very scared of getting kicked out of my house. I was just scared. I was a scared kid because I had grown up, like I said, grown up bullied. When I was a little kid, I had a bully named Bobo in my old apartment neighborhood in Irving. And I hope he's doing all right, you know what I mean? Because he was a real piece of work, but I guess it toughened me up for later in life. But he used to do sick stuff like steal my bike and light it on fire and throw it in the garbage, or just beat me up every time he saw me. Every time he saw me, beat me up. Never any mercy. Sometimes it'd be, and he was like, this was happening when I was like 5, 6 years old. He was like already 10, 11. Sometimes he'd be with his friends and they'd beat me up. You know what I mean? 12, 13, whatever. Take my lunch money, all that stuff, man. So, put a knife to me one time, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. I I've been bullied a lot as a kid, so and even into my adult years. It's part of the reason why I box, why I fight. You know what I mean? Is because I will spar. Is because I have all this pent up rage and anger, and it's part of the reason why my workouts are so extreme. I feel a lot of ways. Like for example, today I did the Ranger physical assessment. I do that once a week, every week. Ranger U.S. Army Ranger Physical Assessment 2.0. Not that I'm in the military or anything like that, but it's a great endurance exercise, but it's a hard one. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. Ranger Physical Assessment 2.0. So, man, positive self-talk is so important. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be kind to yourself. You gotta be able to talk to yourself in a way that you can learn to appreciate yourself and not let those voices from the past creep in, and because those people didn't even know what they were saying, they were just saying it. In a lot of ways I feel like people knew I had a lot of potential, but instead of encouraging it, they tried to suppress it. But God Almighty did not suppress it. He's bringing it out of me. It's just like later in life, but tis the way things are sometimes. So yeah, I don't know where I'm not particularly organized in my thoughts at the moment, but I would say that, I mean, just talking about a lot of that stuff is I'm kind of reliving it at the same time. So, and I really don't, it's funny because my life, I'm just like, it's like I woke up and I'm 30 years old, And like I said, thank God, God has really looked out for me like a mother, father, brother, like my creator, you know what I mean? Like my creator, like he's looked out for me this whole way through. I got to give him all the glory. Seriously, dude, because I can't, I couldn't even, a lot of times I can't even function. And I can't believe that my business is where it's at and all this, because I have so much trauma and so much pain, you know what I mean, that I have to wade through and fight through on a daily basis, which goes back into, if I make even a small, minute mistake, it's just my, or whatever, you know what I mean, things just didn't work out, because sometimes things just don't work out, you know what I mean. It's not like it's a reflection of me or my character or something like that. It's just things don't work out sometimes. But my default is to go to, you're a piece of, shite, you know what I mean? So, I hate myself or what have you. So, and I'm learning, and I'm just kind of putting this out there because I know I'm not the only one that struggles with this, but, I just wish, sometimes I wish I had like a stronger family unit behind me. But you get what, the cards that you dealt, and you just got to play them how you got them, you know what I mean? You got to play your hand how you dealt your hand. So for that, in regards to that matter, I think I've done pretty well. I don't want to have this video just trail on into me saying the same thing over and over again. Guys, love yourself. Speak to yourself in a positive way as best as you can, as much as you can. Try to eliminate this negative self-talk. We're human beings. We're not robots. One thing I can say as well is that I often chase perfection on everything I do, and I feel like if I'm not perfect at it, then I just shouldn't do it. Not a good way to approach things at all, tasks or what have you. And most importantly, just love yourself, man, because nobody's going to do it for you. After a certain age, your parents will die. Your siblings will go on, if you have any, to do their own thing in life, get married and have their own families and do their own thing. Even if, your spouse has their own situation, if you, or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, has their own things that they deal with, we got to look out for, each of us individually have to look out for ourselves, you know what I mean? And it's a challenge, but stay prayed up and just believe in yourself and believe that, that you are here for something, that you are special in some way. You do have some sort of purpose, you know what I mean? You are chosen for something, we all are. And Excuse me. And yeah, just be kind to yourself and don't beat yourself up too much about things that didn't work out or whatever. It's not. It may be your fault. It may not be your fault. You may have dropped the ball on some things. If you have, just take accountability. But don't beat yourself up on it. You know what I mean? Yes. That's all I have to say. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings. See you on the next one.